video, I will show you how to make these super cute overalls for a little girl. This pattern includes sizes for children from 1 to 8 years. This design features a fully lined bodice and elasticized waist and leg openings, plenty of ease around the hips and ties at the back. Plus, there's an optional flutter sleeve. First, let's talk about the fabric you'll need. I'm using 100% cotton. Make sure you're working with a breathable light to medium weight woven fabric. I recommend cotton or linen. Start by cutting out your fabric according to the pattern linked in the description. As you can see, I'm using my at-home projector to cut all the pieces, but all my patterns come in print at home, and A0 formats as well. Here are the pattern pieces you should have. Front bodice, cut one on fold from the main fabric and one from lining fabric. Back bodice, cut 2 mirror pairs from the main and lining fabrics. Ties, cut 2 from the main fabric. Cap flutter, cut 2 from the main fabric. Pants, front and back, 2 mirror pairs from the main fabric. Pants facing, cut one on fold from the facing fabric. Now we can start sewing. Fold the long slanted edge of the back bodice 1 cm to the wrong side and press to create a memory fold. Repeat for the other main and lining pieces. Set aside. Place front and back bodice pieces right sides together and sew the shoulder seams. Press them open and repeat the same steps for the lining fabric. Next, let's sew the ties. Fold the tie piece right sides together lengthwise and sew along the top and side. Clip the corner and turn using a long stick like a knitting needle or a pen. Press. Now place the ties on top of the right side of the back bodice, aligning the raw edges of the ties with the short straight edges of the back bodice. Follow the marks on the pattern. Secure the ties by sewing them to each bodice. Now that's done, you can switch to the small flutter pieces. Finish the raw curved edge. I'm using a rolled hem foot to sew a rolled hem. You can use your serger or sew a double folded hem. Now you can gather each ruffle along the straight edge. Gather it to be the same width as the distance between the marks on the sleeve opening of the bodice. With right sides together, pin the ruffles to the sleeve cap and base to keep them in place. Now place the lining bodice on top. Pin and sew around the armhole. Now pin along the neckline. Be careful to align the seams on the lining and main bodices. Sew along the neck and short straight edge of the back bodice. Leave the bottom of the bodice and long slanted edge of the back opening unsewn. Trim the seam allowance and clip the curves. Turn right side out. Now pin the lining to the main fabric along the side seam and sew. Repeat for the other side. Open the seam and press. Fold along the memory folds on the back bodices to hide the raw edges of the center back opening and press. Stitch as close to the edge as you can to close the bodice. Now we are almost done with the bodice. Top stitch along all the edges for a clean finish. The top is done. You may tie the back so that ties don't get in the way. Now let's proceed with sewing the pants. The process here is very straightforward. If you have made pants before, this will be no different. Place front and back pant pieces right sides together and sew the side seam and inseam. Finish the raw edges with a serger or a zigzag stitch. Press seams towards the back side and repeat for the remaining front and back pieces. Now that you have 2 mirror pairs, turn one pant right side out and the other wrong side out. Slide one into another, right sides together. Align the raw edges and pin along the crotch. Sew along the curved edge. Now you can turn your pants right side out and press the seam to one side. Take your facing piece and press one long edge to the wrong side by 1 cm. Unfold the memory fold and pin the 2 short edges together. Sew and press the seam open. Set the facing aside. Take your pant and bodice pieces. Insert one into another with right sides facing. Align the edges of the bodice to the side seams on the pants and base to keep in place. Now place the facing piece on top and align the raw unfolded edge to the raw edge of the bodice and pants. Pin in place. Sew bodice, pants, and facing together. Now fold the facing to the wrong side of the pants. Fold the memory fold to the inside. Press and pin. Sew along the bottom edge of the facing as close to the folded edge as you can. Leave a 2 cm opening for elastic. Cut a piece of 2 cm wide elastic. Using a safety pin, thread the elastic through the casing. Overlap the edges and sew the elastic closed. Sew the opening closed. We're almost done. Now what's left is to hem the pants. Fold the bottom edge of the pant to the wrong side twice and press with an iron. Sew along the inner edge. Now you can stop here. I think it looks lovely with a cinched waist and extra wide-legged pants. However, I will be adding elastic to the leg cuffs to cinch them at the bottoms and give the legs a bubble look that makes it extra cute. To do so, cut 2 pieces of narrow elastic. Mark the position of the elastic a few centimeters above the hem. Cut a long strip of fabric and make a bias tape. Pin it on top of the line you've just marked. Fold each edge at the beginning and end to hide the raw edges of the bias tape. Pin the 2 folded edges of the tape close together. Sew along the top and bottom edges of the binding. Now use a safety pin to thread the elastic through the casing the same way you did for the waist. And this is what the finished leg cuffs should look like. And this is the final result. What do you think? Do you like the elasticized cuffs? Comment down below and subscribe for more sewing content.